So before we get started, we'd like to thank our number one communication sponsor, Freedom Internet. Locally owned and operated, Freedom Internet delivers secure residential short stay and commercial fiber internet services. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you updated the security for your in-home router? Don't worry, Freedom Internet will do it for you, keeping you and your family's online experiences safe and fast. Freedom Internet, connecting people and building community. Sign up today at freedominternet.co.nz.
What's up, team? This is Harry Plummer, and you've tuned into The Hurt Locker.
It's Kelpie Vibes.
Sound so cute. I'm gonna jump so cute. How my people that go jump so cute. Boss man, you go jump so cute. When the bed do they enter body.
All right, session 3 of The Hurt Locker, we have the man himself. Born and raised in SA, South Auckland, the man has stacked his wins on and off the pitch since day dot. He was a deputy head boy of St. Peter's College, went into play New Zealand schools in 2016, into NZ Under-20s post-school. An Auckland Provincial NPC rep, Blues elite, and now an All Black. The man has lived out every Kiwi kid's dream, a future French croissant connoisseur, and a PGA player. It's our man, Harry Plummer. Nice
What
to
an
see you,
intro,
bro.
my man. Appreciate it.
Oh, good, bro. How's it been?
It's good, bro. It's good. We're on bye week at the moment, so
Yep.
yeah, it's been nice to chill a little bit and take a step back from rugby a little bit, I guess. But yeah, other than that, everything's all good. Living the dream, like you said.
I mean, we talked a bit before. You've obviously been out on the golf course for a bit before on your bye week. How's it been to just relax a little
It's
bit?
good, bro. Yeah, like I use it as a good decompress, you know. I think for us, it's been a little bit of a sort of a rocky start for our super season to start. So it's nice to step away from footy for a little bit and then, you know, reset and go again for that second block. So it's been good.
I mean, sweet, bro. We're gonna wind the clock straight right back, bro. We're gonna go. Where did you grow up, bro?
Yeah, so as you touched on, South Auckland's home for me. So I was born and raised in Karaka. Mum and dad have a lifestyle block out there. So yeah, born out there, raised out there. Had a little primary school called Tahihi out there. So went there till about year 6, and then actually commuted into St. Peter's from then on. So mum and dad still have their family land out there and try and go out there as much as possible. But from there, sort of after school, moved into town, close for rugby, did a few flats and currently in Otahu. So I guess I'm sort of migrating towards the South Auckland side of things again. Lived in Papatoe for a little bit and now Otahu. So yeah, try and stay connected to the roots of it.
I mean, I forgot to tell you before. Does your mum run a Pilates studio?
Yeah.
Bro, you might not know them, but we're family friends with Deb and Sandy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're like close friends of they go to your mum's Pilates
crazy.
studio.
Yeah,
So they came in one day when we had like a dinner once, like a couple months back, and they were like, oh yeah, like we're watching the game, and they were like, oh yeah, we get our Pilates studio is that player's mum.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh true.
Yeah, tight knit community. Mum's got a
Yeah.
whole bunch around there, but
Mate.
buzzy.
Yeah, mean. All right, bro, we'll go schools. Like you obviously said Tahihi primary. So what was like? You just go from your primary, intermediate, and then into.
Yeah. I mean, it was a typical country sort of primary setup. It's like I think uniforms started being worn when I was like year 3 or 4, so it's not really like a big thing. It was a small school, bare feet to class sort of job, and 60-meter rugby field sort of thing. But it was really good. All your close mates playing footy every sort of day. The days you aren't, you're playing cricket. So it's you're getting a good mix. And then yeah, like I said, we knew through my dad who worked at the Blues with Pat Lamb. We got an entrance into St. Peter's, and my older brother went a little bit earlier, and then I went for intermediate, so I started in year 7, which would have been 2010 or something.
Yeah.
So did my intermediate / college all through there, which is a massive change. Like we've gone from a 300-person school 5 minutes down the road to an hour and a half commute to school, an hour and a half home every day. Ties, going to a Catholic school. I'm not actually Catholic, so like adjusting to that sort of lifestyle was a bit different as well. Catching public transport into school, so it was a big change at first, but yeah, I got nothing bad to say about that school. That shaped me and gave me some pretty important life lessons and friends as well that I'm still really close with. Some of my best friends have gone through that school, and obviously gave me the platform to do what I do now, which is play rugby and, give me that opportunity.
So are you the same year as AJ?
Yes, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think because I remember watching games ages ago, bro, and it was always like you in that 10, and then I always remember AJ being on out wide, and that was like
So
'cause
AJ
your team
was
was
our
pretty stacked.
he was
there.
our midfielder,
Yeah.
and then some people don't know because he played league leading up to it, but Cam Saw4 was our lock. So he was with us.
true.
Yeah, so we were all in the same team, and then other boys that have played Super Lutero Talai.
Oh, yo.
He was playing for us. He was
Is he
our eight.
overseas now?
Yeah. He's doing really well overseas actually. But he was our 8, and then they converted him to a hooker. So he was there, and then boys before us, Lasati Milo Harris was in there. Who else has played Super? Jordan Trainer.
Yeah.
We had a good team, bro.
Bro, he's a battler, right?
He is a
trainer,
bro.
battler.
He's a very very good rugby player. Just like injuries sort of thing kind of got in his way, but but yeah, we had a really good team, and it's pretty full circle stuff now to be with Cam and AJ at the Blues and sort of see their success as well.
Yeah, bro. Like going back, getting the train into school. Was that from Papakura train station?
Yeah.
Shit, was that back then where you had like those purple tickets and they're
Yeah,
like,
you
"Kill
got
those?"
it. Yeah.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, we started to they had like these monthly passes in the end.
Yeah.
And I don't even think my parents know, but we started to try and finesse like you'd start in one carriage if it's expired, you'd start one and then you'd run to the other one so you don't get caught. But that's what I mean. Like that was all part of like growing up and understanding like, okay, I got to be a bit more responsible for myself. And I think one thing that St. Peter's taught me, all that sort of stuff, is like time management and being able to manage yourself really well as a person. And that's probably something that I definitely take away from the big commutes, like, because I hated them. Like, we were up early. Mum and Dad had to drive us 20 minutes from our home to the train station. So that was before we even got on the train. And then, you're on the train for 45 minutes. What do you do for 45 minutes? So, but yeah, there are some memories from that.
Bro, like influences from an early age. Obviously, you've talked about our parents a fair bit helping you and keeping you disciplined, especially going from a transition of like primary school into intermediate and a total different dynamic. What are some other influences you had, bro? Like, do you have any coaches at a young age or like mentors, etc.?
Yeah, I think first of all, like you said, family's been massive for me and still is massive. Going to a new school, I shadowed my older brother a lot. He's only 2 years older than me, so. For my first sort of year at school, I probably hung out with his friends while I was still learning to make my own friends, and that ended up being right through school, really. So family's been huge for me sort of going through. But yeah, I suppose early memories of coaches, like they all sort of touch me in. Oh, that's going to sound weird if I say touch me there. They all sort of played a part in sort of making me grow up as a person. And I suppose it wasn't until I started to think, man, I could potentially start doing this for a living, which I suppose when you get to that first 15 stuff, when it becomes really important and your life revolves around rugby, that I started to understand what those coaches give. And there was one at St. Peter's, Matt Skeen, who's still there to this day, actually. And he was a backs coach, and I think it was just like instilling faith in people. You might not have a great game. I was only a year 11 or something. I actually played on the wing for a lot of my first year at First 15. But just instilling like faith in you and confidence and stuff. Wasn't even anything technical, tactical. It was just like making you gain confidence in yourself because you've got the confidence of other people. So that's probably early memories from school as far as coaches go. Yeah.
Man, what was your personality as a youngin', bro? You've talked about like that big transition. Were you a bit shy, or how'd you find that transition as a youngin'?
Yeah, I suppose my friends would be able to attest to that a bit more, but I'm quite an introverted person until you get to know me, and then I suppose I'm a bit more extroverted. And I think part of that was living so far out that we, it wasn't as easy for us to be like, oh, we're just going to pop over to our mate's place because we were so far away. So, listen, at school, I don't want to say I was a goody good, but I was a good student. Like I enjoyed school because I felt like I was quite good at it. I had sport going for me, and I had really good friends and stuff as well. So I enjoyed school and got along with most of the teachers really well, and that probably rubbed off as a bit of like a teacher's pet sort of vibe, but whatever that sort of means for anyone. But and then I just loved rugby. Like I mentioned earlier, my dad's been involved with rugby for as long as I've been around, and that was our weekends. Like if I wasn't playing, we were going to Blues games with my mates, and that's sort of where it all stemmed from. And then when First 15 started, it felt like every week my best friend was actually our captain in our last year, Alex de Beek.
Yeah.
And it just felt like every week we were always just talking about rugby. We were talking about the game that had just been, or do you watch that game in the weekend, or who are we playing next, or we need to win this many games if we're going to get top 4. So, and I think at school, like I've told so many people, when you leave school, you're like, I loved it.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had taken more time to just chill out and just enjoy it all.
Yeah.
But so that was probably my sort of personality. I became a bit of a code head, and I suppose that's kind of transitioned into me as a rugby player, is that I just really enjoy watching rugby, which is a bit hard sometimes when you want to switch off and your mind's always going with different things. But.
Yeah, it's probably hard for you to watch games because well, I don't play anymore. He's still playing. Like when you watch it as a pro, it's probably like you just can't get the analytical view of the game out your head, right? Like every game you watch, you're always finding something or looking at something different, as opposed to myself who can watch it and just feel like the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Is that how you see
a
the
little
game
bit? A little bit. Like I think especially in Super Rugby stuff, I think you are always looking like, I probably understand what they were trying to do, or you might watch a game and it's like they use that move against us as well, and it worked as well then. So it's probably why not only myself but a lot of the boys really enjoy watching league, is that we don't have that. We might have the skill set of a pass or a kick or whatever, but we don't actually know what they're trying to do. So it's actually, like you say, it's entertainment value and so much more ball and play, and it just feels like there's so much going on and stuff. So a lot of boys really enjoy watching that sort of side of it. But
balance as a young, balancing kind of the journeys in the morning, the journeys after school, and then kind of going into the whole different environment of being at like a Catholic school like St. Peter's. What was it like? Like, did you struggle at any times, or did you just kind of stay in line, doing your work, going to your sport? What was the balance like?
I think the biggest one was obviously like going to a Catholic school. You're expected to study religious studies, and my family's not religious. Well, I think my parents have been baptized, but we didn't practice any set religions. And when you go into a Catholic school, it's quite in front of you that this is the beliefs, and it was quite interesting for me, like learning that sort of stuff, because I enjoyed learning it, but then also what you have to do each day around that. And I probably struggled with that the first couple of years around where I fit in, because I felt like a bit of an imposter with that side of things. So I wouldn't say it was so much of a struggle, but just an adjustment, like a big adjustment for me. But other than that, I think we learned to deal with the commutes really well. And like I said, like I had my older brother coming through school. My younger brother was 2 years younger than me, so we always had people at school that we could sort of be around if anything got tough. But I mean, I don't like to say that I had a tough childhood or upbringing in school, because it wasn't. It was pretty plain sailing for me, and really enjoyed my time. So I suppose it gives you a bit of a rude awakening when you get into the real world a little bit, which is probably what I sort of felt at points, because you never really dealt with anything hard through school, and then sort of the real world comes into it, and a bit of an awakening. But
so where did rugby come along in your journey of life? Did it start before school? Did you start at a club out south, or?
Yeah, I started at Karaka Rugby Club.
Mean.
Yeah, so I couldn't even tell you the age grade team that I played for, but played there right up until under 13s. And then when you get to that point, when I moved to St. Peter's, it's kind of expected that you have to play for school. So Karaka was an awesome sort of little town rugby club, and I loved playing my rugby there. And it's funny because the Blues have a bit of a saying around playing like the barefooted 8-year-old you once were. And that was exactly what Karaka was, because you'd go out frosty mornings, you wouldn't have boots, you'd play, and then you'd start to get boots, and it was awesome. And then you go from half field to full field, and it was just a really good environment for people to enjoy their rugby. So so that was really good. And then so I want to say about 7 or 8, because I actually started playing soccer.
Oh, bro, that was like us.
Yeah,
yo.
and I don't remember a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I want to say that it's because my parents were like, we want you to learn to kick with both feet.
Yeah.
So I think the long-term goal was that we want you to play rugby. So it's worked out well. But yeah, I actually played soccer growing up. And like I said, I don't remember a lot of it, but I quickly sort of changed to rugby and fell in love with that. And then played, I suppose the age grades going through, under 14s at school, under 15s at school, and then migrated into first 15 stuff
So you jumped in the first at year 11?
At year 11, yeah. So my first game was, so this was when imports were sweet. I know. And we had a number 12 called Filippo from Tonga, who was just unbelievable. I think he actually started doing some stuff with the Warriors. I don't know where he is now, but anyway, his mum passed away just before round one, so he had to go back to Tonga, and then came back later. So my coach came up to me and he goes, "Oh, you're going to be starting at 12." Awesome! Like, this is bloody exciting. I haven't really played much 12, but this will be really cool. And we're playing St. Kit's, like awesome game. It's like, you're going up against this. I think it's Braden Enort. I was like, "You're kidding me?" This guy's like NZ schools, so he was my first matchup, and I was so hyped up. We lost the game by like 5. It was a high scoring game by like 4 or 5 points or something, but just like an awesome introduction into first 15 rugby, just thrown right in it. And then yeah, I sort of was on the bench a lot. I suppose in first 15, the bench players didn't have as much involvement back then as what they do now. And then one of our wingers got injured, and they wanted to try me on the wing, and ended up doing all right. Wasn't really for the pace. I think it was more for the communication side of things. But yeah, and ended up playing the back half of the season on the wing, and it was a pretty memorable season. We had a really good run, and then played Grammar in the semi-final, and that was when Wise Guy hit that drop goal that just sort of reeks past in the ball, and then that was just everything. That was for Moaska Cup. That was for a spot in the final.
True.
So that was like a crazy ending to your first sort of taste at first 15 rugby. But like I said, wouldn't change it for anything. Like, those are some of my best days.
Man, that brings up so many memories of the Moaska Cup, bro.
Oh.
They're still floating around today.
We thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Bro.
And we're just like, it was actually the boys' ball night as well. So the boys are like,
bro.
we're going to take it to the ball, get photos. And then that happens. And it was just, it was all hell broke loose.
Bro,
but,
that's like an iconic first 15 era that year, because like you're saying Braden, would Dalton have been in that St. Kit's team?
Dalton's
as well?
in the St. Kit's team.
TJ.
I think TJ would have left by then.
Oh yeah.
Finlay was probably there. Finlay Christie.
Oh yeah.
Itane. I feel like Patrick Herbert might have been there at some point. So there was some pretty crazy. And then you look at Grammar, and you've got the Reekses and stuff that were still there, and there was some pretty special.
That's what Hedemai Murray would have been there as well.
He might have been a bit young.
At
that stage, but he would have definitely been on the scene. So yeah, it was a pretty scary. It's pretty scary couple of teams that you had to play.
Yeah. What was it like, bro, learning those systems throughout? Because obviously you go from under 14s going throughout. Does St. Peter's kind of keep it all similar to how you want to play in the first 15, or is it kind of?
Yeah, to an extent. Like, I think schoolboy rugby back then, I must admit I don't watch much now, but it's quite systematic. Like, you know what's happening on the fourth, fifth phase, and then it's sort of just waiting for someone to break the line. So I would love to play school rugby now, knowing what I do now, and take it back into there to see if it would be any different. But I think you just build yourself up the whole week to play a game. Whole school would come out.
Who was your rival team, bro?
We were always Grammar.
Yeah, the Battle of the Bridge.
Just because of the bridge, yeah. So, and there was some pretty cool, like we had an army, they had an army. Yeah. You do a little walk up, and teachers would get around it, and have to hold people back. But those are some of the best schoolboy memories that I'd have. And then, that's nothing on like a Grammar King stuff, because that stuff's even bigger, know. So
that was crazy.
We never had games like that, I don't think. But
bro, that because we both went Kings. Bro, I have this crazy story about bro, year 13, bro. I was just, I don't know what happened, bro. After the game, I did those embarrassing ones and cried, bro, after we lost. Fuck, bro, biggest regret of my life, eh. Bro, anyway, like, just happens to be the sky camera, like, straight
on.
dead ass on me, bro. And it's like, they're zooming up, bro, and I'm like fully crying. And I was like, and this is when TikTok started kicking off, because like we'd been in and out of drift of TikTok, the COVID era. We were in lockdown to start with, so TikTok was huge. Bro, after the game and the change game, all of a sudden, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, rolling meme.
Rolling TikToks, bro, rolling meme. Bro, and then like the year after, so I'm first year academy, bro. And like on our academy in 2021, our off day was Tuesday. So me and Mehana went to the gym over in City Fitness and in Newmarket.
Yeah.
We're chilling, and Grammar goes after school. Like all the Grammar boys go after school. Bro, this little fatty like comes up to me, bro. Like fully, like no joke, bro. This little fat kid comes up to me and he's like, "Oh, bro, I think I remember watching you last year." So here's me going like, "Oh, like I have no idea, but
Like
I thought he was
rugby
going to be
players
like nice.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, oh, I remember you crying. I was like,
Smack around the ears sort of job.
bro, are you serious, bro? That was shocking, eh? But yo, bro, the rivalries are crazy in school.
Oh, it's so good.
Even when we played St. Peter's, bro, St. Peter's was because AJ Foliafunga,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
all those boys, like and Jeremiah Asi, like those. Are
So did you
boys
play
down in
them?
Dunners.
Was that to 18? Would you have played them?
Oh, we lost to them.
Oh,
yeah, that's
when they went on 'em with Nico.
Yeah,
Jones.
yeah. We
Yeah.
we lost to them. That's when and Zan was on our team then.
Yeah.
Zan was carving it up. They had St. Peter's was pretty stacked. They're like Zion Holo.
Like
all those boys.
Yeah, they had a good team then.
Yeah. No, it was mean. And then like Grandma was pretty like Grandma was like Fehi Finyang and
Oh,
all
yeah.
those boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were stacked as well. Bro, I just realized you might have played with our brother-in-law.
Who's that one?
He went last Saturday, Ben Sa'u.
Oh, yeah?
Yo,
Oh,
that's our
really?
brother-in-law.
Oh, yeah? Oh, we played Adrian right through
Yo,
together.
yeah.
Oh, crazy.
So, bro, what was your rep team flow like? Even in school, like around in your first 15, what was kind of the first rep team you made from there?
I think we had like a under 14s central or something. Like Auckland split it up into all these different things, and I think that would probably be the first one, either under 14s or under 16s.
Oh, did you do roller mills?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Did roller mills in, what year was that? Yeah, 8, probably, with a couple of the boys as well. I don't think we didn't do great. I think I was with Auckland West, and I think we might have got 7th or something. It was down in, might have been in Thames.
Yeah.
Cool tournament, though. Like,
bro.
just, again, prepping for a week of, playing against some of your mates, playing with some of your mates, because obviously I was from the counties region, so there were like quite a lot of them in that team that I was playing against, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't have heaps of memories around that, but that was, you're right, that was probably the first sort of rep team, and then sort of filtered into the 14s, 16s sort of stuff with Auckland, and then Blues 17s sort of started their camp, so was lucky enough to be included in pretty much all those.
Going back into like roller mills and stuff, it's probably like the weirdest grade because like the spectrum's huge. You've got some families who are just like, oh, well done, son, you've made roller mills, and on the other side you go, oh, you're an All Black now. Like, bro, it's like the biggest spectrum of support.
It is. It's crazy, and it's someone always said like because they do a big photo of all the teams. I don't know if they were just like, oh, you want to hold on to this? I was like, there's like 250 kids here. Why would I want to hold on to this? And they're like, trust me, like you'll look back and you'll be able to look down the line.
Yes,
it's like,
bro.
oh, he's done this, he's done this. And I even know some boys that like, people don't actually know. I don't even know if he knows, but Adam Pompey used to play Union and he used to play out at Onifero. And we played like against each other, rugby, cricket, all like growing up and stuff. And now seeing him do his thing with like the Waz and all that, it's just crazy, you know? So not even in the rugby sort of circle, there's so many boys that have done different things. So, but it is a crazy tournament.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how much from those actually develop into like the players, because like they always say like only 1% of players will make it, and like the stat is true in comparison to the participation. But when you like highlight those rep teams from young ages, it's pretty much that. They're pretty direct into what the rep teams were in.
Yeah.
Outside of school, bro. So you go from Blues 17s, and then in 2016 you made NZ Schools. Mm-hmm. How was that?
Yeah, really cool. It was an interesting sort of progression. So about 3 months before that, I dislocated my shoulder at school, and it was sort of a way up. Like I was too young to get surgery. We were still on the radar for NZ Schools. So basically had a chat to them, and they said that they were happy to sort of keep me in their line of sight if I could rehab it well. So spent pretty much the next 3 months just rehabbing in hopes of being sort of selected for that, and I was, which was really cool. And that campaign was awesome. We played against Fiji and Australia, and had an unbelievable team as well. Like to name a few, Billy Proctor, Braden Yossi was our captain. Hoskins was playing lock. Vilamoni Karoi. Who else was playing?
Damn, is Kadoi still playing, bro?
He came from sevens. He was sort of with fielding, and he was like down the 7th pathway.
Yeah.
Then came to that, ripped up, and then he sort of changed a bit. But, AJ Moore, he was ripping up.
AJ.
He was
his little brother's doing well now.
Oh,
well,
yeah?
bro.
Yeah.
He's carving up. Jeremiah, he's carving it
but,
up.
crazy team. So, and that was really cool.
Oh, Balin as well,
Balin would have been in there. Yeah.
So
it was pretty unreal to to sort of, I think just playing against another country, you know, then you start to feel like, oh, okay, this is pretty real, and putting a fern on your chest for the first time.
Who was it Aussie then?
Aussie, yeah.
You remember any of those boys or nah? Not too
There
sure.
would have been a couple that probably, but no one like
Do you remember?
crazy stands
Yeah,
out. I think,
yeah.
Hunter probably, Hunter Paisame, he was probably playing.
Because he went last out, I think he went last out early,
Yeah, and then he moved over there. So, but I was probably a bit young.
So
to
what posse
remember
did you
any
play
names.
at NZ schools, bro?
I played 10 for
Me.
that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I sort of filtered into just being a 10 sort of right through that period. And then it was only later when in professional sort of setups where I sort of switched between 12 and 10 a bit more. But yeah, primarily 10 for both those sort of campaigns. Yeah.
So when after NZ schools, you kind of flow on to further rugby. Was it a normal like standard? Like, did you go from that to academy?
Yeah, so moved out of home straight after I finished school and into the Auckland Academy sort of set up. And I think the first year you'll sort of go into club rugby, prep you for the 19s tournament.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much all we did. So Jock Hobbs, yeah. So it was still that then. We trained every single morning, I think, doing gym every morning, either gym or fitness, and then most afternoons you do sessions. If it wasn't with your club, you're with them, which was good. Like, I enjoyed that. I moved close for that sort of setup, and I was juggling uni at the same time, so I was doing full-time, doing a Bachelor of Business at that time.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't push past the fact you got a full scholarship to that, bro.
Yes, yeah, that was, we'll probably push back the fact that I haven't actually graduated yet, but I'm still on the back end of that. But yeah, that was obviously, you know, really fortunate to get that and you know, be able to move close to rugby, do studies, and really feel like I was making my way in what I wanted to do. So did that. Went to the Jock Hobbs tournament and we did really well. We had a really good team, so we ended up winning that. And yeah, like I say, we were sort of a team that when we turned up, we sort of felt like we're going to win, but by how much are we actually going to win by?
Yeah.
Waikato actually had a really good team that played us in the final and pushed us right to the sort of end. But yeah, we were pretty stacked with that sort of setup. And then a couple of weeks after that, there was an injury to the Auckland Mitre 10 first five, and I got to make my debut off the bench against Bay of Plenty at Eden Park, and sort of gone from there really.
Who NPC then, bro? That was still, what was that called there? Was it still Mitre 10?
It was still Mitre 10.
Mitre 10,
yeah. So it was actually the year Auckland was doing pretty average. Actually, I think I came in for the last 3 games, and we were fighting. It was when they had the Premiership Championship tables, and we were right at the bottom of the Premiership, and it was us and Waikato, I think. And I remember it got down to the very last day. We were on our Mad Monday after finishing, and I was like watching this game intensely because if a result went the wrong way, we would have been dropped down to the championship, and that would have been like my first proper year in a, you know, and then we would have dropped down. It would have been pretty stink, and we actually ended up 2018 going on to win the premiership. So it was crazy. It was just like a big swing of events and stuff. But
I remember being at that 2018 game. That was sick.
Oh,
that was fun as.
I still reckon, bar last year with Blues, the coolest sort of team environment I've ever been in.
Was TJ the captain then?
TJ was the captain, and just probably one of the best seasons I've ever seen anyone have.
Was that Canterbury in the final?
Canterbury in the final.
That was a sick game.
It was just like, but the whole season, just like, might have 10's a sprint anyway, but like we were always together as a team. Like, we obviously winning helps, but you know, you're always having beers after the game, and it's awesome. Like, professionally, obviously, but you know, enjoying each other's company, turn up, do your work, get a win, go again. And then we had Graham Henry was actually helping in the coaching. It was Alama Iramea's first year with Auckland.
Oh,
yeah,
bro,
so he
that's
just
right.
turned
I
up.
remember he just
so
came
him,
that year.
Philo Tiatia, and Ted, Graham Henry were the coaching staff basically. And it was in that final. And I remember we were down like 20 points at halftime or something. And the boys were sort of just absolute deflated. It was starting to rain. Canterbury had like a Canterbury, you know, so you're kind of sitting there and you could almost get the feeling like second place is, you know, it's not great, but it's not the worst. Like, we've had a good run. And then Ted just comes in and he's just like, I reckon you guys all just take your jerseys off. Like, this game's, you guys don't even want to play, so just get off the field, and you guys aren't even, you know, just like how he speaks. and it was just like, oh, it was a bit of a personal attack on people, and just came out and ended up playing 100 minutes of rugby and got a win. And yeah, it was just one of the coolest, sort of a fairy tale ending to just like a really cool season with some really cool boys. And again, like a really cool intro into professional rugby for me, because that was my first first year as a professional rugby player. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that's awesome, man. It's so good to hear like NPC held on NPC now, but like held on a pedestal like that, because like a lot of people don't talk about NPC.
I agree.
It could be, like, as it's to the standard where it actually belongs, because it's a good, bro. It's such good rugby.
It's a good standard of rugby, and it's a good like advocate for the game. It's just
100%.
I think what people are starting to figure out is that it just can't be in big stadiums. You know, like even Auckland started to transition it. We played at Grammar. You play at club fields. That, you know, the provincial teams like the Taranakis and stuff that are playing at stadiums that can house the people that are actually going to come and watch the game are the ones that are doing it really well. You know, like it's just it's a really good brand of rugby, and man, there's some talented players that don't get noticed enough because people don't pay enough attention to provincial rugby.
Bro, 100%. I still think it's pretty crazy, bro. Like, I understand you played NZ20s that year, and that's pretty much pinnacle of age grade footy outside of school. 2 years, first year out of school and then playing NPC, that's still pretty crazy. I mean, that's nuts, bro.
Oh, and it was just like, you think first 15's the most important thing in your life, and then you get to that and you're like, this is my life. And it's just like, it was a bit of a false sense of what was going on, but at the time it just felt like everything, like you just put all your energy into that, you know, that one sort of season.
Because you go from school where every team you can like pick who's like the better players and then like the average players, and then you go to NPC where that guy, he wants to play Super Rugby, and this guy, like, if you scaled the team across, no one's bad. No, everyone's a professional player.
Like, you're getting paid to be there.
You're getting paid to be there. If you don't eat, someone's gonna eat you up.
Big time.
That's good. It's a crazy league. I love watching NPC actually. So you go from there, and let's talk Blues, bro. So you go from what year did you debut for the Blues?
2019 was my debut. So round 1 2019 against Satyrs at Eden Park. So again, like, what better way to debut a Super Rugby thing? And I can sort of laugh about it now, but it was a pretty rough sort of debut. I think I came on 50 minutes or something, and was absolutely loving it. I had Augustine Pulu as my 9.
Main.
I had Sonny Bill as the 12.
Was Kerwin the coach?
No, this was Leon's first year. Yeah.
Oh,
Leon
2019.
McDonald. Yeah. So it sort of went Kerwin, Tana,
that's
then him. And we were pushing them, man. And there was there was a kick that I had to tie the game up, like on the 15 or something. Or it might have even been inside, and missed it. And I was like, you just get in your head, you're just saying, damn. And then there was a penalty, and I'm like, I'm so confident at this point. I'm just like, just give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. And I missed that one as well. And then the game finished and we lost by 2 points. Obviously, you get one of those, and I just beat myself up. And the best thing that happened was we went to Africa the very next day. So I'd gone this high of debuting to a low of, I've just lost the game for us round 1 against Crusaders in my debut. I need to get out of New Zealand, and like, Africa came at a perfect time, and you get to travel, and it's something that Super Rugby at the moment, you don't have the luxury of, not that side of it, but Africa. Africa's an amazing like trip. I managed to do 2 or 3, and it's just like such a good team bonding thing. You take a big squad over there. When you're not playing rugby, you're playing cards with your mates. You're like going to safari parks. You're going to play golf, like,
and you're unfamiliar with the
territory. And you just don't know anything, and you're told, oh, this is a pretty hostile environment, so stick together. So you're forced to stay together, and so it actually came at a really good time for me. But yeah, 2019 was my first season, and it was a pretty rough one for just like the Blues in general. I think I couldn't tell you what position we finished, but it wasn't top 8.
Starting with it, debuting in the derby like that is pretty rough.
Unreal. And again, it's just like confidence, because that's what you want as a kid. Like, you're throwing the confidence of a coach, and you believe in yourself anyway.
100.
So you just want to take it. And so I loved it. And the thing that I admire most about Leon as a coach is that, especially with me, he just kept throwing you in there. He's just like, mate, I know you didn't get the kick or you didn't execute it, but I know you will. So he just keeps throwing you in there. And I was lucky enough to have obviously the support of my family, but I was playing with Otiri Black then. He was our main first five. Stevie Perifeta was in there as well. So you're learning off these boys too, and that definitely, more than I know, helped me along the way. Yeah.
So like since then, since that year being in the Blues, you've obviously grown strength to strength in experience, but also just kind of carrying on throughout your rugby career. How have you found it in the Blues system over the past couple of years?
Yeah, Blues is a very special club, very close to my heart, and I think people have started to see. I mean, barring what we're seeing at the moment, and obviously it's tough, and I don't really want to talk too much about that because I know that the second half of the season we're going to be, it's going to be a pretty big block for us that I think people are going to start to see. But I think people see what Blues rugby can be and what it's about, and we've long been tarnished as a team that has a lot of talent but doesn't work hard, go and gets tough, show your underbelly sort of thing. And the years that I've been there, which they're starting to call the rebuild, which a lot of the boys have been, you've got the Petty Toops and offers that have been there the whole time, Akiri Ioane, Rico, Sam Knock, all those boys. But, the Dalton Papali'is that have come in at the same time as me sort of thing, we sort of feel Hoskins, we sort of feel like there's a changing of the guard in terms of, no, we can work hard and we are talented, but we can work hard at the same time. And when Leon came in, we obviously recruited really well and got people like Finlay Christie and Bowden. And, you start to see some things flip our way. And then there was obviously COVID sort of hit and it was a little bit niggly, but then we had a Trans-Tasman tournament and we ended up winning it. And people are obviously always like, oh, it doesn't count. But for the Blues at that time, we hadn't won since 2003. So I was like, we definitely count that. What do you mean? We played some unbelievable rugby, got a win against a pretty decent Highlanders side at that time. So of course we counted that. And then 2022 went to another strength, made the final and, went an unbeaten season, I think, until the final. So, we started to see what we can do when we start believing in yourself. And I think that's why confidence in a team is so important, is that you get a win and it just grows your confidence in how you want to play. And then obviously 2024, last year, we had a new coach and it was just a whole new style of rugby. So everyone was so invested in how we want to play and how we want to do this. And again, it was just so much confidence in the group, such a resilient team that had sort of been through so much shit in the last couple of years that just wanted to, almost prove themselves right as opposed to prove other people right. And I think that's where the Blues have got it really right, is that there's just a great mix of people, great mix of cultures, great mix of personalities that sometimes clash, but also really gel really well to make a really good team.
Yeah, 100%. Bro, that Trans-Tasman tournament you talked about, bro, that was so annoying, like, because I'm obviously a Blues fan, bro, that pissed me off because the whole tournament mattered until the Blues won.
Big time.
Bro, like, it got to the final once we won.
Big time.
All of a sudden, everyone was like, oh, it doesn't matter anymore.
No. It was just,
that was annoying,
and
bro.
people just read it off. And obviously the concept was a little bit hard, but I think what some people forget is I'm pretty sure we were first when we went into COVID.
Yeah.
Remember, we just played the Lions or someone, and we were actually top of the table anyway. So it's not like we were having a bad season and then we just got lucky with a draw or anything. Like, we were going really good up until COVID hit, and then that came out, and then it's, so boys are actually doing good stuff. And it was, it was probably just before 2024, it was just a nice reward to the Blues for a couple of hard years of some, pretty dark days.
So now, past Blues, like, before we talk about the ABs, bro, what has there been any other rep teams that they're like, because what are some other ones you can make?
Nah, they've obviously got All Black 15 now. Which
but that's only just recently.
It's only the last 3 years. 3 years. So I made the recent one. We went on and end of year tour stuff. But there's no. They had that North and South briefly, but I didn't play in that. So that was that was sort of like a trial and error sort of thing. Whether they're going to bring that back or not. But it's just been Blues in Auckland up until there, which is, I've really enjoyed the balance of that sort of stuff.
All right, bro. Well, we'll go into the ABs, bro. You got called into camp. What was that like?
Yeah, crazy. It was. I was pretty gutted at the end of sort of the super season. I got talked to by Scott Hansen, who was the coach, and he just sort of commended me on how I was playing. And I think I was more gutted just because I felt like it was, you know, like it would have been a full circle moment for the end of that year, but it wasn't to be, and that was all good. And then I was really keen to get into Auckland sort of stuff, and got a call from an unknown number on a Sunday morning, and I was just like, I don't know, it might have been like 8:30 in the morning or something, and I don't really answer numbers that I don't have, and then got a message straight after, and it just said, "Hey Harry, it's Razor, call me back" or something. And I just instantly just got up, and I was like, geez, and sort of worked myself up for about 20 minutes to actually call him back. Gave him a bell, and he just said, Stevie Perifetta's gone down with a tight calf. Would love to have you in for the next couple of weeks for the Argentina tests. And I wasn't really processing it, but I was sort of just nodding and saying, yep, oh, that's awesome. Like, be stoked. And then he just said, sweet, we'll get your flight sorted, and we'll see you tomorrow. And that was it. And it was, you know, I don't think I had anything planned leading up to it, but it was just like, oh, what do I need? What do I pack? And then you just get bombarded with phone calls. You got the manager calling you, got the flights person calling you, you got all this stuff. So, and then in and around that, you got to call mum and dad and all that sort of stuff. So it was quite an emotional ride for me, especially having heard sort of like after the fact, you go through the disappointment and the highs and whatnot. So yeah, there wasn't much time to think about it. Got called, flown out, turned up in AB's camp the day after I got that call. And they were prepping for an Argentina test for the Bledisloe stuff. So, yeah, it was unbelievable. It was surreal. Like you said earlier, childhood dream really, and pinch me moment, but sort of something I didn't really get to sit back and be like, oh, that's, you know, that's pretty cool. And reflect on that with my family, because I just felt like I was in there and to do a job. And for me, that job at the knowing that job going in was to prepare the team the best they could, because I knew when I got called up, I wasn't going to be in contention for playing or anything, but I just wanted to do the best job to prepare them for what Argentina was. So I was watching clips, and I was trying to learn all the calls for their stuff, for AB stuff, and the boys were awesome. Like I turned up at the airport, the Blues boys they didn't know, I didn't tell any of the Blues boys. Turned up, and they just sort of gave me a big old sort of hug, and made the sort of transition really easy. And I think younger Harry would have been really like sort of sheepish and probably a bit standoffish, and I might have still come across that way, but I think 26-year-old Harry was sort of like, when else are you ever going to get like an opportunity like this? And you just got to back like who you are, and I'm pretty confident with the person that I am and the player that I bring, and what I can do, and that's probably what came across more than shy and nervous. And obviously I was nervous, but it's, you know, that was sort of the ride,
So what was it like, bro? You obviously got to run on the field. Was it what you expected, heart racing, everything like that?
For the debut?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely everything. So again, like that was a roller coaster in itself. Like did the whole prep week, wasn't named to play. So I was training as the Australia team, trying to prep the boys. The boys had a really good week. And then the captain's run day, non-players sort of do a little bit of a session, go to captain's run, sort of watch the boys, do some kicking like normal, come back and you're sort of chilling out. I think I caught up with one of my mates that lived in Sydney at the time. We had dinner together and came back to the hotel, and then woke up Saturday morning, and it's a pretty long day, Saturday, especially if you're not playing as well. Like you're just sort of filling in time, and got a message from one of the coaches like, hey, just make sure you're over all your detail. Bit of sickness going around the team, and didn't think much of it. Obviously, you know all your detail anyway, but then about an hour later, another coach messaged me and goes, hey, do you want to meet up in the cafe briefly? So I was like, yeah, no worries. And he's like, bring your book. And so I went down there, and he's like, oh, Bowden's, you know, just stuck in bed. He's a little bit sick. You know, he might be all right still, but just making sure you're all over everything. And I said, mate, I'm sweet to go. Just, I know everything, so just let me know. And then sort of as the day kept going further and further, you come together as a team for a walkthrough, and got pulled aside, and it was like, yep, you're on the bench, Bowden's not going to play. And again, like you just don't have time to process it, which was probably nice. I didn't have the whole week to gear myself up. You're in that moment, it's like, sweet. Then they announce it to the team, then you go for your walkthrough, then you have a pre-match meal, and then you're having a nap and getting into your pre-game routine. So it was quite good. One of the coaches just said, listen, go up to your room, enjoy this moment, call mum and dad, but then you need to lock into like what we're about and what we're here to do. And it was crazy, and I felt bad because mum and dad, obviously it wasn't enough time for them to fly over, and we looked at it, but it just wasn't going to work. But it was surreal. The anthem, the haka,
Oh, did you?
Sitting on the bench.
The haka would have been something you would have had to prepare for.
I
Would have known it.
Every kid knows
Every
the
kid
haka,
knows
you
it,
know?
but then like still like you're gonna have to
like
think about
prepping where you're gonna be, like where do I have to stand to be right at the back, and but just like that tricks you into like I've been doing that in front of the TV since I was like 6-7 years old, you know. So to be able to do that with a black jersey on is just like that is crazy, and singing national anthem, you know, holding on to some of your good mates from the Blues as well, and then just even sitting on the bench, like just taking it all in, warming up, everything, and then obviously getting called up to you're going on was just like do everything you can. I got 3 minutes, and it just felt like ages, and it just it was just a very full circle moment for me, just in terms of what it meant to play for that team, but sort of the journey that I've been on to get to that point was pretty cool.
Bro, that's so good. Like that's literally the dream, and like you're taking the piss if someone says, "Oh, I wouldn't want to wear the black jersey if I got off with it." Bro, that's such a bullshit.
Oh,
bro.
it's a pretty special brand to be a part of, and they make you aware of that. You know, and like people have always said, no matter how long you play, you're an All Black forever.
You're an All Black.
And
once you cross the white line, you're an All Black.
Pretty big for me and my family, and I've always said that as a kid, is that doesn't matter. If you're an All Black, you're an All Black. That's it, and I'll take that to the grave with me. Yeah.
Oh, bro, 100%. So how's it with that jersey? Did you hold that precious? Now?
Yeah, it stayed pretty tight. Yeah. It's hanging up at home, and it's interesting because for your debut, you get it engraved. Well, you get all your jerseys engraved actually, but it would say your debut. But because I came in so late, it didn't get engraved. So I was just wearing a sort of a normal jersey without an engraving, and then I had to give it back to the manager, and he said, "Oh, I'll get someone to engrave it and then send it back to you." And I was sort of like handing it over. I was like, "You sure why don't you guys engrave one, and then why don't you bring the engraver here?" So I had to part with it for a little bit, but I got that back, and that was pretty special. And then came back to New Zealand and did a capping ceremony, because you get a actual cap as well.
Silver one or the white?
It's a black one.
Black
yeah,
one,
with a silver sort of tassel. It's got your name and number brought at the back, and your family gets taken to that. So
good, bro.
Yeah, I got a capping ceremony, which was pretty special as well to have, and that was mum and dad, and my brother and sister were there for that as well, which was pretty cool. So.
Bro, that's so good, bro. So yeah, bro, that's just the dream, eh? Like having that black jersey. So we've covered like your rugby journey to now. Let's talk about like your experience as a pro player. Obviously, it's on socials, and you've talked about it with the New Zealand Rugby before in a couple of interviews. The social media saga and some of the backlash you've received, totally undeservedly. And any player, no matter who you are, doesn't deserve any messages like some of the ones you've talked about before. Can you just like kind of run through why you're off social media now, and kind of just the spectrum of what kind of messages you were actually getting? Because I think, if it's too much, you don't have to talk about it, bro. But I think it's important that like fans see what a professional has to go through from their mouth, as opposed to like just the media talking about players have been brash. Like, what was it like for you as a player?
It was tough, bro. It was. I think it stemmed from school that you've got this ride of highs. You know, it was high on high, and obviously that's not a problem. You need to be equipped with that, and New Zealand Rugby is really good with teaching you how to try and adapt to it, but I just didn't click into the mindset of it, and it obviously started with that first Super Rugby game, you know, and you want to make a brand for yourself, and then to put out a performance which is not what you want to put out. You can be better, but you didn't execute. It's rugby, it's life, you're going to make mistakes. We don't go out there to make mistakes and lose games and stuff, you know. If people are gutted that your team lost, how do you think we feel, you know? That was like the very first year was real hard, because I wanted to. You're taught to like, it's a really good opportunity to build a brand for yourself, who you want to be, for potential sponsors, for everything, but also like who you are as a person, trying to portray yourself online, which is quite hard. And you sort of wanted to do that, but also stay away from the side of social media, which has been a bit tough, that I've sort of dealt with. And I made the ultimate decision in end of 2019 that it just was really affecting my mental health. And I was, as much as I didn't want to, I would come off the field regardless of how I play, and then you're on the bus on the way back to the thing, and you're sort of looking at your phone like, please please nobody have messaged me.
Or you'd
or,
actually like look at the.
because it's like personal messages. Like you could say, you could say I'm not going to go onto like
Right.
the Blue Social, for example.
Yeah,
You're not going to
yeah.
go onto Instagram, click on comments, and then start reading the comments.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I did that for the first couple of games, and then
Yeah.
you see stuff, and you're like, okay, I'm better than that. I don't
Yeah.
need to do that. But it's when you start getting messages, because you have to clear those messages, and you can see the messages that are, you can't really choose not to see them.
Oh,
So
I just realized because the Instagram, it wouldn't have been like the one now because you can have a creator Instagram now and you can actually block if you're not friends with them, if you don't follow them and
Yeah.
they follow you, you can actually block anyone from messaging.
you couldn't do that. You could
Wow.
block them after they message you, but you still
But you
see
said
the
to see
message,
the-
So
bro.
so that was probably the personal attack on things, is that say what you want on a team account, which I still don't agree with, but when you start messaging the individual, it's like,
Too much.
oh my
Far too
gosh,
much.
I'm just getting absolutely berated here. And it would stem from everything, bro. It would be like people who are betting on the game be like, I can't believe you missed that kick. To really, passionate fans are just like, you don't deserve to be in the jersey. And I don't get where people are coming from, because I think it's beneath, like a very below thing to comment on people like that. But I think it was just, I know fans are passionate, and this game wouldn't live without fan bases. So we, more than anyone, appreciate fans. But it's it's the stuff that it's like, what do they not even want to win? It's like, yes, this is our job, but like we care so much about the people we play with, the people
Yeah.
we play for, and the region we play for. That's probably like the personal attack that you feel. And when I think for me, it was sort of when your character starts getting judged around, does he even want to be there? What would his family think? And then it started to affect my family. So my family's actually gone off social media as well. Like some of them,
really?
some of them have actually gone off
Wow.
social media because it got to points where they would bite back at stuff, or
Yeah.
they would see stuff that when I got off it, they would see stuff and then it would affect their moods. And so that was really tough, like first couple of years, but I had a really good support network. And
Nice.
but yeah, man, I really battled. And as much as I say rugby was a savior, it was probably like a double-edged sword. Like it was being able to turn up and focus on something other than anything else was really good for me. But it was also like the thing that I was focusing on was damaging my, mental health, and I fell into a bit of depression. And that's where golf sort of came into it, where I just needed to like literally put my phone away, focus on something else. As frustrating as the game was, whatever, it allowed me 3-4 hours in a day to just focus on getting a ball into a hole, and then having a beer with my friends, family, whoever I was playing with afterwards.
Yeah.
And being able to just not even have to talk about things, because it probably took a little bit for me to actually talk about stuff.
Well, you're young.
While I was young, and I wanted to be, I'm all good. Like,
Yeah.
let's just go play golf. But
Yeah.
for me, that was just my psyche of going, I need to get away. I need to do this.
Right.
I can't just sit here because my head's just spinning like with thoughts. And so yeah, and probably when I started to realize that was that, you're probably wanting to play golf a lot more, and then you're like, okay, this is becoming a coping mechanism, which is really good, but I recognized it a bit late. And that's probably when I started to get real passionate about the advocacy of talking and like reaching out. And I'm lucky that my family is quite an emotional family, in the sense that we're able to talk to each other, and mum and dad have always been really positive around, reach out to us, chat to us if you need. If you don't want to talk to us, talk to your siblings. If you don't want to talk to them, we'll arrange people independent for you to talk to. And had some really good sort of psychology people at the Blues at the time that helped me with sort of the performance side of it, so that I could deal with what I needed to deal with, but also sort of be able to perform at a professional level at the same time. And for a long time, people didn't really know what was going on. And then, I just needed to get away from life, I guess, with the social media. So original plan was to get off it for, a couple of months until I sorted stuff out, and then didn't miss it at all, like started sleeping better. And then I was like, this is way better. And obviously you still get a bit of stick from people, like the odd drunk person at a game that might yell something and you hear it. But other than that, it was way better, and I just enjoyed it. And other than connecting with my family overseas, there was nothing that I was missing on social media, which was actually really nice. So I understand seeing some of the players on what social media can do for you. And I know it's an amazing tool when used well, but I think that's the key, is that it has to be used well. And I'm on a golf social media now, which doesn't follow any rugby pages or anything.
Nice.
It's purely to show the side of me that has helped me so much.
Your brand,
You know, for that,
Yeah.
and that's Harry. You know, because I'm not Harry the rugby player all the time. You know, I like golf and I like my family, and I love spending time with friends, and that's what I want to portray, and that's, I think, important to showcase to people. You know, that you can sort of find an avenue around that, and it's something that working with the Mindset Engaged team at New Zealand Rugby that has been really helpful for. And if it touches one person, bro, then perfect. I'm happy.
Yeah.
And if people don't want to hear my story, that's fine. Turn off. Like, it's all good. It's just, I know that if younger Harry heard any of this, like, he would have been so much more equipped with what to do. And it doesn't have to be golf. It could be gaming, surfing, whatever. But yeah, I became really passionate about that sort of side of things.
Bro, that's awesome, bro. We're going to talk about next shot and golf and all that kind of more when we go over to Chamberlain. So we'll chop that up then. Bro, thanks for opening up there, because that's sick. And I guarantee even players will probably watch this and they'll take a leaf from your book, and young players as well, because it suits everyone, not only for footy players, but anyone, just to have a chat. So obviously I'll tag those all and the brand and everything and in the post, and we'll get that all sorted. Going forward. Bro, why did I open my phone and the first person I see is Zan?
He'll be hunting somewhere.
Bro, he's definitely hunting for something. All right, we're going to go straight to the start. All right, we got a question from my boy George Miles. The most naturally gifted guy on the Blues.
Oh, Bowden.
Bodie?
Yep. He's he's pretty good at pretty much anything he does.
Right.
So, it's a little bit annoying sometimes, but it's pretty impressive to watch. So yeah, Bowden.
Sweet. We're going to touch on this over at golf as well, but we've got my mate Alfie Dolphus ask a question here. He said, why did you decide to leave for France at the end of the season?
Yeah, it's probably a couple of reasons. I don't know how long you have, but I just think it was time. Like, I was going through some off-field stuff as well that probably just felt like I needed a change in lifestyle.
Yep.
I have no animosity towards the Blues. I love this club, and if I could stay there forever, I would. But at the end of the day, it was a personal choice to change lifestyle, a change of rugby, which I think will help me grow as a rugby player and as a person as well. And I just don't think you can stay in one sort of place the whole time. Like, I admire completely who does that, but I've never moved out of Auckland. I've been lucky enough. Boys have sort of come from Wellington to come here, or come from Christchurch to come here, or moved from Auckland, but I've stayed in Auckland the whole time, and I became very familiar, and I think it was just it was a sort of a right time, right moment for me to get away and try something different, and I'm really excited about the challenge of, you know, moving to a non-English speaking country to play a game that has given me so much already.
So
yeah.
you reckon you'll learn how to speak French?
I'm already doing lessons.
Sick.
Yeah,
What are you using, like Duolingo or something?
No, I've got a tutor.
Man,
yeah, so I was
awesome.
doing Duolingo, but yeah, I'm really passionate about the language, and obviously I'm going up there to live,
bro.
so I really want to give it the
Sick.
best crack. So yeah,
Bro, it would be so good. I honestly, people that have come, like when I, because I've got Charlie Famuna on the potty in 2 weeks. And like when I watched podcasts of him talking about, bro, just loved it, bro.
yeah.
So I think, bro,
ex-players, there's just they don't really have a bad word to say about it, you know. So
bro,
yeah,
that's
I'm
awesome,
really
bro.
looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to watching you play over there, bro, because I always watch that league as well. So we go over one of my boys, Tony Cover. He's a kicker. He plays Prems. He said, "What do you say to yourself when you are goal kicking?"
Oh, I can't tell you that. Sorry,
you can't say.
Yeah, can't say that to anyone. But man, it's just like a process thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've sort of said it since I was young, and I think it's just like little cues and stuff. But yeah, I have been asked. My parents don't even know. My family doesn't even know.
So you tell yourself your phrase over and over when you kick?
Yeah, it's just sort of like my process and how I sort of lock in, I guess. And
so is it like set up the ball, you do your steps back, and then is that when you start clicking, or is it like once you know you're going to kick, do you just start saying something over?
Nah, yeah, when I'm at the back of my run up, so I'll do all my setup, do my basically walk back and stuff, and then when I'm set at my kick, then I'll sort of say.
How long have you been doing that for?
Oh, since professional rugby. Yeah,
Bro, that's
so
mean.
which is pretty cool. But yeah, I have sort of had a couple, because you can see it on the camera. A couple of people wanting to know that, but
that's cool that you keep it secret to yourself. That no one
yeah,
knows,
I just
bro.
think it's
awesome.
like I'm sure people care, but it's just
yeah,
personal for me, you know.
Yeah. Sweet. We've got one of Tom Hitchcock, one of the brothers. He said, "Who's the best schoolboy player you ever played with or played against?"
Ooh, played with would be played with. Oh, Jordan Trainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at school. He was just, there was nothing he couldn't do. Like he was, I don't even know how much he weighed, 70, 75 kgs. He kicked for us. He would tackle anyone that broke the line, always making line breaks, just so good on his feet. So I was lucky enough to play with him. Played against, I suppose I was too young to remember I don't really remember too much of the kidders and stuff because I didn't play against them, but I know that he was really good. Probably someone like, that's a tough one.
Was your year? Was Tanilea Tupo your year?
He was in my Did
you play him?
He was year 11. Yeah, he was pretty dangerous actually. I reckon it's too hard. I'm just gonna say Jordan Trainer was the best I've played with. Because there's too many players.
One of the bros, Toy, you probably don't know him. He said, "Do you know Louis Kishimoto from St. Peter's?"
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, he said, "What are your thoughts on his game?"
Yeah, he's unreal. I'm not a coach or anything, but I've gone in a couple of times to hand the jerseys out, and that boy is silky, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him play, but
great skill set. Yeah, and he was only young as well. Sort of went from AJ Faleafanga to him. Yeah, and it was just sort of
So is he with Auckland now?
I think he's still at St. Peter's. I feel like he's still got one more year. Jeez. He's either that or he's just finished. So
gotta keep an eye out for
real
him.
good touch player as well, like real good on his feet. Yeah.
We're going to the next question. Favorite roomie? It starts with N and ends with Oa.
Nah.
Yeah, that's big Noah. Hey, congrats on last week, Noah. Welcome back, mate.
Yeah,
welcome
congrats,
back,
mate. Champion.
And then we got who was his favorite roomie with the pukana emoji?
Yeah, I know who would have asked that. My roomie's always been Zahn, so I have to say Zahn, but he's been injured, so I haven't been with him. So there's a couple of good roomies actually. Cole Forbes has been my roomie lately, and he's a great roomie. So but Zahn if he's injured, if he's not injured, then it's always Zahn.
Oh, mean. All right, bro. I think we'll call it there. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Beauty.
Right.
Oh, Harry. Like keep it straight, like that's what I try to do. What way does the ball normally go? I always look at. Oh. See.
Oosh.
1, 2, 3. Oh, sick. He's the next shot.